Welcome, everybody. I am Jonathan Christian, founder and creator of We Make Stuff Happen. We've been running a challenge since the fall of 2012, early October to be precise. Straight after Thanksgiving, we started the Social Media Challenge, and we decided we'd challenge ourselves over 90 days to take social media by the scruff of the neck, use it for all it is worth, and take it to a point that is usable in 15-minute segments every day of the working week and beyond. So what we try and do at We Make Stuff Happen is exactly that. We've done social media for about 3 years. We live it, we breathe it, we love it. And what we try and do is we take people through a journey of helping them get very, very familiar with social media, finding the platforms that work for them and their customers, and taking them through a great journey. I give myself the job title of Chief Imagination Officer because really social media is about telling a story. And the only thing that limits us nowadays is our imagination. So we dream dreams, we set goals, we jump right in with both feet, and we have a lot of fun. So running through our slides, I have a Twitter name. It is @JDGem. And if you'll see with that picture, it's quite simple. That is the initials of our family. It was our very first email back in the late 90s when it was Hotmail. J, obviously, is for Jonathan. My wife is Debbie. My eldest daughter is Gemma. My middle daughter is Ellen. And my youngest daughter is Madison. So JD Gem. Simple as that. Twitter name works for me. People remember it because it's the J and the D and then the Gem. And Jonathan Christian was too long for a Twitter name. We Make Stuff Happen was too long for a Twitter name. But this worked. So something that's memorable, it's something that's personal, and that's really part of your social media strategy branding, is to come up with something that does, in fact, work and is memorable. Now, I totally believe in telling stories, and some of the best stories are ones that have a purpose behind them. And what I do predominantly is, as I say, I tell stories. I really enjoy telling stories to young people as a presenter, and each summer I work with a number of summer camps as a guest speaker for a whole week. And last summer was particularly poignant for me. I was in Grand Forks at a Bible camp called The Pines. It's part of the MB conference. And had a great week. We helped the camp go social. We set up a Facebook page, a Twitter account, YouTube channel all during the week while I was talking. And everything went great. And then on the very last day of camp, the Friday, a tremendous windstorm blew up the valley and devastated the camp. Over 330 trees or so literally collapsed within a matter of minutes. And very, very sadly, one little boy, Richard Fair, lost his life in that tragedy. And I was there. And that tarp building was the cabin that I would have been in had I not been down at the lake with the boys that afternoon. And this was me a couple of months later when the site's been cleared, but the cabin was still condemned. So for me, social media has a real purpose because what happened during that event was there was no power. There was no way of getting any communication out to people because the phone lines were down. But we did have Wi-Fi. And because we had a Facebook page, we were able to communicate what was going on, how many people were safe, where we were evacuating everybody to, all through Facebook. We were able then to connect with local media, local family services, and also national media. So within the space of 2 days, while there was still no power, we still had Wi-Fi, and we were able to communicate to the worldwide through the power of social media. So it means a lot to me, and obviously we'll never forget the life of that young boy that we knew that week. And the power of Facebook absolutely made a huge difference. So it is purposeful, it is special, and in the right hands, it's an incredibly valuable tool. I reached a tipping point this year, last year now, I guess. After I came back, I did my summer and focused on my goals for September, and I thought I was doing quite well with my social media. And there was an opportunity to go to a conference in Orlando, Florida, and who wouldn't want to do that? And I've been following this lady standing next to me there, Sandy Krakowski, for some time, and she really encouraged people who wanted to take their social media to the next level to spend 2 days with her, locked in a hotel in Orlando. So I did, and part of that journey was Sandy was saying to people, if you're really committed to social media, then you need to make it a full-time occupation almost. If you're committed to it for your business, then you need to make it as much of a commitment as you want your email or your telephone calls. So she said, if you're sitting there and you've got 400 likes on Facebook and 1,800 followers on Twitter and 500 people on LinkedIn and you think you're super connected, I'm here to tell you you're just playing the game. There's nothing right now that's differentiating you from anybody else. You're not building community. And I looked at my stats, and sure enough, I had 400 friends or likes on Facebook. I had approximately 1,800 people on Twitter. I had 500 plus on LinkedIn, and she just accused me of playing with social media. So I went, okay, girl, challenge is a challenge. So I came back and decided I would build community, and I still am. And glad to say that through her inspiration, and in fact I will be interviewing Sandy one-on-one quite soon for our blog, I started the social media challenge, both for myself and for my clients, because it's pretty difficult to clone yourself when you're in pretty high demand and you want to give the best to everybody. So we write this daily blog now, which is called the Social Media Challenge, and we have some big aspirations. And one of our dreams is to have a following of 10,000 people by the end of 2013, and we're way underway to get that. So this slide basically says it all: dream big or go home. And there's a video that a lot of people play about the social media revolution, and one of the stats in that video is the return on investment of social media is whether you will still be in business in 5 years. It's a pretty broad statement, it's a pretty brash statement, but I do believe it to be true. We've seen Yellow Pages come and go and the effectiveness of that. We use Google a lot, Google.com, for our search, and it's still very effective. But you know, the best way to use social media now is to be engaged and to ask questions. I was looking for a driving instructor for my daughter before she takes her in a few months' time. I put it on Facebook yesterday. I had 11 different personal recommendations of who the best driving school is, and they're personal ones. They're not Yellow Pages, they're not canned website testimonials, they're real stories. Picked one already, super happy. That is the power of social media. So when you're in business with a service or an offering to bring to the marketplace, you want people talking about you. You want people who genuinely will refer you. So when someone says, I need a great carpet cleaner, I'm looking for a really good family doctor, a dentist, a car service, a car sales, whatever it is you're looking for, and you put that question out on social media, you'll be amazed just how that will take you to a place of choice. And that choice is verified. People are much more likely to trust an endorsement on social media. They say like up to 70% more likely to trust somebody on social media than they would, say, a commercial advertisement, which ranks at about 15 to 18% trust. So it's a huge opportunity to build community and to find the right service for the right person, and that's how it works. So we started this challenge. We called it the 90-Day Social Media Challenge. I didn't refine my blogging skills too much in the past few years. I've written a number of guest blogs, and I've written a number of journal articles, and I've written a lot of website copy and LinkedIn profiles for people, but I didn't define myself as a blogger. And what we're finding is that more and more now, blogging is the way to get your message across. The Google algorithms, the latest Panda algorithms, all revolve around content marketing. And if your website has great content, if your website is constantly being updated with terms and technology references that really relate to your business, then Google knows to index you as an expert. On social media, if you're always talking about what you do and how you do it and why people are enjoying it, rather than like, buy my product, then again, social media is going to recognize you. And the more you get recognized on social media, your edge rank increases on Facebook. And the more, and it's not just Facebook, but let's just use that as an example. The more you're engaging with people, the more people are commenting, liking, sharing your posts, the more likelihood is that your posts are going to appear on other people's walls. Because what happens is maybe only 16% of the people that you like you ever actually get to see without going to the page. So if you want to be in that 16%, you've got to get engaging. You've got to get working. You've got to get, as I say, liking, commenting, sharing, and not just expecting other people to do your stuff, but to really jump in and begin the conversation by commenting on their stuff, by liking something that they've written, commenting on it, sharing it to your group, and that will start to bring your engagement. People will see you as a regular contributor. They'll come back, they'll start contributing to yours, and that's how social media engagement, really, really starts. So this is what I call my social media wheel of fortune. And think of a bicycle. Think of the B in the middle as the hub of the wheel. I put a B there for blog rather than a W for the website, because really a website just needs to be your home for your blog. It needs to be an online brochure too. It needs to be a portal of information. But really the best way to engage now is to be writing and blogging, and then that becomes the core of your social media content. So when you have a blog that can then go out rather than just people finding you, it starts to make a difference. And each spoke of the wheel, if you like, going out to that rim where your potential and current customers are, makes your wheel stronger. So one spoke could be Facebook. Another spoke should be YouTube. A third spoke would be your LinkedIn or having your references stumbled upon. Another one could be virtual recommendations, so Meetup or Foursquare or Yelp. Any which way that you can get your business out into the community will help. When you're sharing and you have PowerPoint presentations, use something like SlideShare or a Flickr album. If you've got great graphics on your website, encourage people to use Pinterest and pin those pictures to their boards, which then gives you a direct link back. If you're out and about, have an Instagram program. Use the 4-step program. Tell people where you are. Make sure your business is registered so that people, when they are checking in, they read tips from other people. Not very difficult to do. When you're with Google, make sure Google knows who you are, that you have a great Google profile, that your business is listed with Google. It's not enough to have a website that Google will recognize. Google needs to know a lot of information about you. What's changed a lot in the last 6 months is the Google Local listings, because we now have a Google Local Plus listing. And what that does for us is it tells Google many, many things about you, which are on your website, but Google doesn't necessarily know. So the way that works is that we put that into the Google account. You take it through. You have up to 10 pictures. You can have 5 videos. You can have opening hours and categories of product that you sell. And that's where people write those reviews. And those reviews will elevate you as high as anything possible in Google's terms, because your website and your local place of business is getting local endorsements. And having those local endorsements with references elevates you above businesses way larger than you, because you're getting that third-party endorsement. And then the classic two, Facebook and Twitter. I mean, a lot of people still don't get Twitter, and believe me, you need to. It is the universal language of social media. And the word hashtag, which you'll probably have heard a lot, you'll see that sort of pound sign, the noughts and crosses little game sign, was the most powerful word in 2012, and it is the most used search term. If you go to twitter.com/search, put in a hashtag and put in any keyword onto Google Plus or Twitter, it'll give you a stream of information about your name, your brand, your product, your address, your city, your social topic, whatever it might be it car sales or bedding or flowers or whatever it is. Just hashtag, do a local search. You'll be amazed how much information you can get to. And then Facebook. Facebook's my favorite. I love engaging with Facebook, have a lot of fun. And we've built our page from over 400 likes in October to nearly at 1,100 today. And that's come through engagement. So right through our blog post, we talk about the 4 E's of social media. And the first one is engaging. I think that's pretty much a given. You can't just put stuff on a wall and hope people are going to say something about it. You want them to engage with you. The second one is enlighten or educate, so that you're actually giving information that people want to read and need to read. The third one is entertain. And for me, that's probably the most crucial one, because when people are scrolling through their phone or scrolling through the Facebook page, what's going to make them stop? And invariably, it's an image. Normally, it's something funny. You might just laugh out loud. You might just say, oh, that is good. That's what gets people to stop and listen and wait for the next one. So there are your 3 E's: enlighten, educate, entertain. But the 4th E that most people choose to ignore is the word effort. Because what we really, really need is to make a real effort to make this happen. And that's the one part that's hard, because it's an unnatural language to us. It's an unnatural way of communicating. We're so used to meeting face-to-face, sending an email, making a phone call, writing a letter even. We're not used to being social. We're not used to being more open to people. Our privacy is diminished. Personally, in this day and age, I don't know if the word privacy even exists anymore. I mean, yeah, it's all out there. The simplest thing is, if you don't want it out there, don't write it. Don't take a picture of it. Don't post it. My rule of thumb is, if it would offend my mom, it ain't going on Facebook or Twitter or anywhere else. There's a lot of bad stuff out there, and people have chosen to put it there. So privacy issues are only an issue if you choose to put stuff there. If people tag you and you don't want it, take it down. Ask them to take it down. Tell Facebook, tell Twitter about it. Things can be done. But you come back to that, you have that blog in the middle, you have all of those social media platforms around you. then you can start to come up with a strategy that engages, that enlightens, that entertains, and with not too much effort. 15 minutes a day is all we're looking for. You can indeed have a great social media strategy. When people hear who you are, or they go to your Twitter name or something, they're going to go to your website and they're going to find out about you. So when you go to that homepage of your website, my friend Matt Astafan has a great phrase. He said, you need a BFB, which is a big flipping button, which is when you get to that site, how are people going to get in touch with you? So I completely agree with his analogy. He said, put your website on your laptop, walk away 10 feet, look at it again. How are you appearing there? So this is a slide of my website. Number of arrows there. They're giving people simple points of contact. My cell number's there in bright red. You can call me straight away. You want to get in touch? Press the orange button. Go straight to an email. Want to find out where our next meetup or my next speaking engagement is? Next click takes you straight to the event page. And then after you've given people an opportunity to connect with you, why would they? What's going to keep them staying on your website that will break the bounce rate? The bounce rate is when people arrive on your site and leave without engaging. So the lower the bounce rate, the better. So when you look at your website, and you may well be looking at your Google Analytics, looking for that bounce rate. The lower the number, the better. And I find one of the best ways to keep people involved is to have a great image. Those images are scrolling, all the better. But have a very strong CTA, call to action. For me, we send out a daily blog by email. It doesn't get any easier than just arriving in your inbox at 7:15 every morning. So there we go. Get more from your marketing. Sign up here. All we ask is for an email address and a first name. That's all we need. We don't ask for anything else. We get subscriptions every day. And my list is growing. People are reading it, they're commenting, they're loving it, which I'm very thankful for. Obviously writing the right kind of stuff. And it gets read. Our website gets hundreds of hits per day now. Way more than I ever did before. It gets indexed way better than it ever has before because we're blogging, because we're active, and we're starting to get what it takes to work with Google and have a presentation and have a format that people really like and engage with. You've got to remember that when people are looking at your website, more often than not now, they're going to be looking at you through a mobile device, be it a tablet or a phone. How does your website look when people are checking you out? Is it an older style website where it just shrinks to a very small format so nobody can read anything? Or do you have a more modern mobile format? The theme is called responsive. So instead of it being sort of 100 characters by 50 characters or pixels, it now becomes series of percentages, and that makes your website responsive. Or you can have a full-blown mobile version, which isn't so pictorial, isn't so wide, it's more linear. But a lot of people are looking to check you out on their mobile phone, and if they do, what are they finding? Is it easy to use? Again, is there an easy point of contact? Is there an easy way to get directions to your store if that's the kind of business that you're in? So for me, over 55% of my web traffic is mobile-driven. So you've got to make sure, if you've got a website from 2008, 2009 now that you still think is okay, probably is not. If you're not got a way of putting your blog into the website, updating it regularly, changing pictures regularly, it's probably trying for a change. People have probably seen it for so many years, they just pass it by because they've seen it too many times. So I've had 4 websites in as many years, and each one gets better. Each one creates more engagement. Sure, it's work. Sure, it's money. But that's my shop window. I don't have a retail store. I have an online business effectively, and Google is my storefront. So I've got to make sure, as you've got to make sure, that when people arrive that they're attracted to it, that they're ready to engage, and that the content that you're constantly giving Google and your clients is enlightening. When it comes to social media, it's just a conversation. It's nothing more than that. Whether it's Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or Google Plus or Foursquare or any number of YouTube, any number of communication platforms that are out there, it's just a conversation. You side along somebody at a cocktail party, you have a chat to them, you move on to the next person. Social media is no different. The great thing is there's a lasting legacy. Everything that we do today is recorded. Years ago, we would have a photograph of our grandparents and not really remember them. Our kids are going to talk about their grandparents now because of social media. There's going to be so much more that they'll be able to reference and go back to because we're creating legacies. And I think that's so fascinating, so fun, so important. So just imagine that everything you write is being recorded. Everything is creating legacy. And you're creating a conversation that's really going to last for people for a very long time. Pictures speak louder than words. Video is key. Music is key. Funny is key. When I find it's when the serious posts that are really good, that people really need to read, get very little engagement. Put a picture of a kitten jumping off the back of a sofa onto the back of a dog, it'll get 100 hits. It's bizarre, but it is social media. But it's where people are spending their time. The average Canadian is spending 56 minutes a day on their social media, if not longer now. Pinterest is almost getting as much time spent on it as Facebook. Twitter is constantly in somebody's hand. Even when they're watching TV now, how many people are sort of tweeting a program or doing some referring of who was that actor and what were they in. So social media is going hand in hand with traditional media. And the more we see that, the more opportunity there is to sort of leverage it and be that. It may be that regular business hours are not what we want for your social media. It could be 8 o'clock in the evening is a much better time to engage with potential customers than 8 o'clock in the morning. Saturday mornings, Sunday nights, Friday nights, they're all open for business hours now in the social stream. So please don't sort of think that, well, I've done my 2 posts for the day. I did one at 8, one at 11. I'm good till tomorrow. It's better than none, but it doesn't mean it's actually reaching the people, because your average life of a tweet or a Facebook post could be 15 minutes. Sure, people might scroll up and down and go back, but invariably what's happening in front of them is what's engaging them. So if you're not there, somebody else probably will be. So just remember that. LinkedIn's a little different. LinkedIn is a lot more business-focused, but at the same time, what people are looking for is that home screen and what's current. So if you want to be what's current, you've got to be updating regularly, and that does make the difference. What we try and do with the social media challenge is we ask people for 15 minutes. Even if it's just 15 minutes per day, that's all I need to help you get going. And the way we write our blog, the Social Media Challenge 90, you'll see the hashtag there, is each blog should be ready to be read and actionable within 15 minutes. And we all have 15 minutes. It's a coffee break. So it might be one less email. It might be one less trip outside for some fresh air. Maybe the trip outside for some fresh air is with your mobile phone. And you do your social media sitting in the calm of a restaurant or something like that. But you can do it. But you've got to give it at least 15. Ideally, you want 15 minutes 3 or 4 times a day. But even if it's just 15 minutes a day, it's a great start. And from that, you can move forward. The most powerful word of 2012 was the hashtag, as I mentioned before. And the hashtag is just becoming the greatest word that we know, because it redefines search. Imagine you're standing underneath an umbrella with a friend. It's raining, but that umbrella is protecting you. That umbrella is the same for the terms of reference that people are searching for. So if you're looking for, as I say, the word food or Japanese food in Langley, and you just hashtag Japanese, hashtag Langley on Twitter, my goodness, it'll come up. You'd be amazed. So start using hashtags. They don't work on search on Facebook, surprisingly enough, but what they do is it draws attention to a word. So if someone says hashtag excited, hashtag happy, hashtag sad, there's obviously a reference to something, and you can zone in on that, whereas a hashtag used in Twitter or Google Plus will absolutely give you a local search. If you go to your Google Plus account, and you really should have one now, because we talked about the places, you can't have a place without a Google Plus account. You put in a hashtag word there, you will be astonished at the level of search that you get that's local. Google.com is not as good a search facility as Google Local now when you do that plus. So have your, across the toolbar, you'll see plus Jonathan or plus James or whoever it is up at the top there. And go into your Google Plus, put in a hashtag, put in a keyword, and just let Google bring it to you. And you will be astonished how key those words are for going forward. There is himself, the Pope, His Holiness the Pope. Fall of last year, created his own Twitter account. Haven't looked at it for the last couple of weeks, but when I put this presentation together, he had almost 1.5 million followers. Sure enough, the Catholic Church has great reach, but at the same time, they've even recognized the power of communication through Twitter. I was reading a report the other day of a church in Prince George where what they do is they're encouraging the congregation to tweet the pastor during his sermon. So at the end of the sermon, he refreshes his cell phone, and all the questions that people wanted to ask during his talk are right in front of him. So they have a Q&A time. And it's really made a difference for him being able to zone in on his style of talking. It's really helped people get the answer that they want, that they haven't had a chance to ask. And as I say, it becomes the universal language of social media. Much better than text messaging because it's recorded, it's directed to people. You can send private tweets, you can send pictures and web links and so on. And it's where people are at, whether you get it or not. It's not just about Justin Bieber. It's not just about where people went for coffee. It's where the breaking news of the whole planet is happening. Japanese tsunamis, earthquake warnings, all of the big events that we've had happen in the last few years have broken first on Twitter. That's why CNN uses it as its source for news. And it's also the source of the news for you and your business too. In a very local scale, it is a key word to take it through. One of the greatest things of Facebook is the word like. It used to be the thumbs up, and you see that a lot. But when somebody likes your page, what it does is it puts your feed into their feed. And by them liking your page, and quite often now people like before they even think about it, and it's become such a natural nanosecond click of a finger on your mouse. But basically what you're saying to somebody is, I approve this page, just like the political ad. When you +1 it on Facebook, you're approving that page. And what that does is it gives the people who are writing a feel for who is out there. It gives the people, they can actually go find out who they are, be it a business or a person. There's ways to look at both. And those likes really make a difference because you need at least 30 likes on your Facebook page to get Facebook analytics. It's called Insights. So you need 30 to get started. So find friends, find family, find just some of your seed followers who will just do anything for you and just say, could you like this page? I'm trying to get some traction here. So get the first 30. That's key. The next key number that you want is 400 because Facebook has a wonderful program called Facebook Offers, and you can't run that until you have 400 likes. So that should be your next goal, is building it up. And there's many different ways of building it up. First one being go and engage on somebody else's page first, and they'll come back. But keep commenting, keep providing content that people love and like, and through that people will start to like your page, and before you know it, you will be at the 400. When you're at 400, you can do Facebook Offers, and that's kind of like Groupon, but without the deals for having to discount it down 50% to give to Groupon. So if you have an offer, and you've probably seen one recently, McDonald's did one, buy one hot beverage, get another one free. The beauty of the Facebook offer is that offer then goes to that recipient's email. So whatever email they've logged in on Facebook, they get the offer in their email. So they get to print off a coupon or a QR code, take it into the store, redeem it, or redeem it online with the code. It's a huge way of marketing, and it drives traffic exponentially. The best way we know to grow likes is to run a contest. We do contests all the time. We're running a contest right now for a dentist client who specializes in orthodontics, braces, and a lot of competition in the area. Experience counts for everything, but people don't know which one to choose because they all seem to be offering a similar experience. So one of the best ways is to enter a competition that sort of catches the imagination, brings people to the office, and then when they see the dentist, when they see the facility, when they see the quality of the staff, they vote with their feet. So they're running a contest to win free braces right now, $7,000 prize. I mean, that's a prize. And they've had a significant number of likes. Talking to a friend of mine this morning, Rita, if you go to facebook.com/make-stuff-happen, or you can put in just Facebook, we make stuff happen, you'll find our page there. And our friend Rita from Kootenai Quilting, she's being nominated for an award with a Mompreneur event. She needs likes, so just like we like people, we can vote for people too. And Rita's on our page today, and I would encourage you to just give us some support and vote for her. I get a lot of people asking me to vote for them for various awards, and one day I might want to have them reciprocate me. So same with birthdays. Every day Facebook tells me whose birthday it is. I may know them fairly well, I may not know them too well, but what's the harm in wishing them a great day, telling them it's going to be their best year ever, remembering something quirky about them, reminding them of when they last met. It creates relationship. It creates a social bond that deepens your relationship. And it's just, it's one of the best feelings when your phone just tells you someone just liked your comment, or someone just commented on your comment, or shared it. It's probably the highest compliment you can ask for. So be generous. Do it with your LinkedIn recommendations. Do it with if you're on Clout, give somebody a +K for one of the services that they specialize in. But it feels great. It feels amazing to be liked, and people love it. You like it back, and then we all win. When you're looking at that Facebook engagement and just wondering how on earth, some people get lots of engagement and some don't, this graph kind of speaks for it all. Look at the photographs. way more than any other way of getting likes is to post a great photograph. If it's yours, all the better. If it's somebody else's, make sure you share it, give credit to somebody. If there's a copyright or an iStock logo on that picture, do not put that on Facebook or risk the wrath of being sued, and I've seen that happen. But photos work great. Asking a question. It may not be, do you want to have my roof in blue, red, or green? It may well be as simple as I said before. I need a great driving instructor for the Abbotsford area for an end test. Who would you recommend? A few weeks ago, I was blogging, and I went, should I write tomorrow on Facebook or Twitter? I had two ideas in my head. I put it on my page. Okay, guys, what do you want tomorrow, Facebook or Twitter? 9 comments later, each of them said Twitter. So I wrote on Twitter. I actually responded to the need of my audience. The status is key. People do like to know where you are. They may not want a photograph of the lunch that you just had or the fact that you're hanging out in Costco, but when you've just had a great client meeting, when you've just delivered a new product, when you just received a gift from one of your suppliers, those kind of statuses make a big difference. If there's a newsflash, post that newsflash. You may be the first person to share it. You may be the news for some other people in your feed. Videos work great. I think videos are going to become stronger and stronger as the next 2 years gear up. Cisco Systems are forecasting that 90% of social media sharing by the end of 2014 will be video-driven. So imagine flipping that video for the photo column in the next year, because that's probably the way it's going to go. So make some videos. Use your cell phone. Have some way of securing the device. There's nothing worse than a jerky video. There's nothing worse than poor quality sound. Put those two together, and you will have a great, simple video. Check out dollarshaveclub.com. They do an amazing video in a minute and a half. That's the kind of quality of video that you could make with a cell phone. My friend Michael at Mine North Langley does some excellent videos for that page. It's all done on an iPhone with a tripod and an external mic. Not very expensive, not hard to do. Takes some effort, but it does make a difference. Links are good. I see a lot of people go through Mashable and Huffington Post, and they'll inform me of the latest tech news and so on, and they are good for reading. But my experience is when I'm sharing those links, I don't get a lot of engagement because of it, and that's why I try it at the bottom. Whereas if I create something myself or I make a comment on something myself, like BlackBerry yesterday, the new Z10 came out. I'm quite excited. I had 5 BlackBerries before I went to the iPhone, and I'm sorry that they've lost their market share because they're a Canadian company, and we hope that that Z10 will bring it back. And I said to people, would you go back? And again, some people said, no, never. But I don't know. We'll see. I think the 10 looked like a great phone. It has a lot of new features. I'm not quite sure why their share price would drop 12% yesterday. I'm not sure what it did today. But we don't want to have an area of places where there is no competition. And any cell company that can produce a great phone, deserves some support. So they're kind of the things that create engagement on Twitter. If you're talking to somebody, reply. You wouldn't just go to a business meeting, take everybody's business card, put it in your pocket, walk out of the door. You'd ask a question. So when someone follows you on Twitter, follow them back if it's appropriate. Ask them a question, read something about them, make a comment, start a conversation. Someone endorses you or recommends you or adds you on LinkedIn, by all means accept it, but also go back and send one back. Thank them for doing something. A little bit of courtesy in social media goes a long, long way. And it will put you in a very high echelon because a lot of people are not doing this. And they're just taking, and not giving. And we know it's in giving that we receive. And the best way to receive great stuff is to give it first. And it really will make a great difference. Hopefully I'm doing okay. On to LinkedIn. If you've not been back on LinkedIn in the last month, you'll be shocked at the difference. Whereas it was a very black and white linear experience, LinkedIn have put an incredible amount of time into their interface. It looks amazing on the iPhone, fabulous on the iPad, or wonderful on your computer. And all the functionality is quite similar, but just the way it's picturing people, letting you know when someone's got a new position. I saw something the other day, a friend of mine said, Blair Kaplan has a new position of social media manager for Whistler something. I don't really recall, but it came up on my feed. I went, way to go, Blair, that's great. It actually gave me an opportunity to reply to Blair and congratulate, and it brought out her exact job position in my message, and I wrote straight back to her. It was all automated for me. And the great thing about that was that she wrote back and said, well, thanks, Jonathan. I really appreciate you taking the time to write. It was very easy. It wasn't a cop-out. I still took the effort to write it, but it was a direct connection, and it re-engaged a connection that I haven't had probably since the spring with her. And you'll find that again and again when you're looking at LinkedIn. I had a LinkedIn message from somebody today that I would never have expected to be in a conversation with. The CEO of a very, very large Fortune 500 company added me on LinkedIn quite recently. I was kind of surprised, but I thought, well, I'll take it. I wrote back and said, Brian, very, very happy to connect with you on LinkedIn, honored, in fact, and if there's anything ever I can do to help, please do let me know. I got a message back from him today saying, the reason I have social media is to reach out. And, I heard a lot about you and like what you're doing, and I am reaching out because I'm looking for a key employee in a certain area, and maybe you just know somebody. So this is a job description. If you know anybody, this is my direct line. Have them call me, tell them that you're a friend of yours, and I'll make sure they get an interview. That's the power of LinkedIn. I can tell you story after story of clients of ours where we found the key employee that they were looking for that we did not find through Craigslist, we did not find through regular job postings. We found it through LinkedIn because we went to skill sets rather than experience, because many, many people now will have different jobs in their life. They have core skill sets but not necessarily the exact experience, but that can be learned. And LinkedIn is by far the best way of helping people get to where they want to get to, be it for hiring, be it for recruiting, be it for promoting an event, or just positioning yourself so when you're with a client and they want to check you out, they can check you out and they can get a really good feel for who you are and what other people are saying about you. So do not discount LinkedIn. 200 million plus people are on there now. Average age, 43 years old. Average salary, $126,000. Average salary, $126,000. These are the people that make decisions. They are the people that buy our product and our services. These are the people that we need to be connecting with. And the best way to do that is through LinkedIn. You may have heard of Pinterest. I'm sure you have heard of Pinterest. One of the greatest things with Pinterest is the ability to create boards. And there are two kinds of Pinterest boards now. There are personal boards and there are now business boards. So you now go to business.pinterest.com and you can either take your personal account and turn it into a business account or start off afresh and create a business account. People are spending as much time on Pinterest as they are on Facebook. And what we know is that people are 76% more likely to buy your product if they've seen your product on Pinterest than they are likely to through a regular search. So 3/4 of the people are more likely to buy if they've seen your products on Pinterest. Isn't that just mind-blowing? Pinterest is super simple to use. You create boards for products, you create boards for events, you create boards for bucket lists, dream vacations, movies you want to watch, whatever it might be. You create those pictures, you pin them to your board. What's embedded in that pin, in that picture, is a direct link back to the website that you want people to get to. So if you have a great website with content-rich pictures and people pin those pictures to the board, someone looks at, say, the picture of a great detailed car and went, now that's one shiny car. They click on it, it's back to your site. It may be for sale. It may be that you've already sold that car, but that picture has brought them directly back to your website. So remember that wheel with the spokes and the hub? It's those spokes that are driving people back to your website, and that's the value of Pinterest. It's the future of e-commerce. You'll just be amazed in the next year just how much Pinterest will blow your mind with potential. Instagram was so popular last year that Facebook bought it for $1 billion. It automatically links to your Facebook page. It'll link to your Twitter account, your Foursquare, your Flickr album, your Tumblr, your email. Whichever you want it to link to, it's there. It's as simple as 15-second social media because you see something, you take a picture, you share it across, you check into a place, you share it across, and it's done. Across 4 or 5 platforms in an instant. And people love it. I use Instagram almost every morning to send out an encouraging message. I use Instagram when I'm visiting and checking out something. I'll use Instagram from other people to see what they're up to. And I have my own database now within Instagram. I have about 260 people that follow me, and I follow back at about the same number. And it becomes a whole different way of communicating in a way that totally works, because it's the picture that gets the most engagement. It's the link that we really want to do to get ourselves across the platforms. And it's memorable. Lots of great filters that you can make a picture look much better than just a simple black and white. You can put a frame around it. You can add your hashtags. The more hashtags with Instagram, the better. And it makes it very searchable, makes it very readable, and it's a super simple way of going forward. Now, I talked a little bit about Google Plus before, and here's my slide here with it all locked down in chains. You've got to unleash the power of your Google Plus. If you don't do anything other on this call, then just go back to Google and make sure you're using your Google Plus account. It will elevate your business beyond capacity to believe. I took a client the other day who wasn't on Google till page 7. Nobody goes to page 7 to look for a business. Page 1, probably. Page 2, most unlikely. After that, you're wasting your time. He went from page 7 to the top of page 1 within 6 weeks just because we got his Google business verified. It was a local listing. He got some great recommendations, and it keeps him there. And you'll find now that when you're looking at Google+, you'll see a score out of 30, and it's called the Ziggurat Index. It used to be that people would go up to sort of 5 stars, and you would, like the whole hotel sort of chain sort of way of referencing. It's not the case anymore. People are looking for scores. And if you have a score of 23+, you're doing amazing. A score of 18+, you're doing good. Anything less than that, and people are like, what's going on here? So people vote with their feet, and if they're looking for a restaurant, if they're looking for a service, they're on their cell phone, they bring it up on Google, and that score is there. People are now starting to realize what that score means. If you're not there, or you have no score, and all your Google map references are several years old, it's not helping you anymore. So do look at your Google+, and you'll be astonished how much that will help your business, believe me. What we were trying to do with social media is really help people get it. And we did a number of workshops that we've recently recorded, and it may be something that you'd be interested in. But we have produced a DVD series called Social Media 101 and Social Media 201. And what that's done for us is it's taken 11 hours of one-on-one workshops that I've delivered with some guest speakers and put it into a workbook format with all of the slides and notes, and very, very simple format to follow. You can do it in simple units. You can just do 15 minutes or an hour, whichever one of the units is, and just refresh yourself. There's some 101 takes you through all of the setup and how it all fits together. 201 really talks to the strategy and talks to how to engage, how to build community, how to build lists, how to really be a social media rock star. So that's 101 and 201. Now, we haven't done these workshops for a wee while because genuinely we've been too busy with client work. So we put these DVDs together, and I just have a price that is not live on our website right now, but there is a landing page there currently. If you would have sat the 2 workshops at the tail end of last year, it was $594 if you bought both individually. We had a price point of $497 if people bought the 2 of them together, and I thought, what price point could I come up with? Maybe another $100 off because people didn't have to go out. We didn't have to feed anybody, so we thought $397. And just for now, we've brought that down to $297. So you're getting 11 hours of social media, incredible teaching for $297. Our virtual assistant who handles our shopping cart, her name is Sandy. Sandy is sadly suffering the after effects of very aggressive breast cancer surgery, and she's going through chemotherapy right now. So we've chosen to give a further 10% of all of our DVD sales this month to the particular cancer society that Sandy is with. And when you do order our package, it comes with a bonus DVD too from a meetup that we did about a year ago with my great friend Kevin Knebel. And that's a fun evening of social media and jolly, and may well be there. So if you wanted to buy these today, you can go to WeMakeStuffHappen.com. On the home page to the far right, you'll see that image of the discs. Click on the image. There's a temporary landing page there, and in fact, you can buy it today, and it'll be in the mail tomorrow. So that just might be something that if you're really trying to get involved in social media, really trying to make things happen, then that could just be for you. I just want to thank everybody for being on the call. There's my orthodontist friend there smiling away, one of his patients. We mean it. We thank you very much for your support. We love the likes, the comments, the shares that we've received. Over 300 people a day now read our daily challenge, and that's growing each day. And we're here to help. We're here to serve. We're here to have fun. And most of all, we're here to stay social. So please do keep in touch with us. Through Twitter, it's @JDGem. Our website is WeMakeStuffHappen.com. Facebook, We Make Stuff Happen. LinkedIn, JDGem. It's all out there. Very easy to find. The contact page on our website will take you to everything that you need. And we just thank you. By all means, give me a call, tweet me, Facebook me, message me, whatever which way you like. I'll get back to you as soon as possible, normally the same day. And out of that, we can do what we can do. So I'm going to bid you farewell.